This is my review of Texas Chainsaw. And Texas Chainsaw is indeed a follow-up sequel to the 1974 cult classic, The Texas Chain Saw Massacre. It tells us the prologue tells of what happened uh, after Sally escaped from Leatherface, and she reported to the police what happened. And Sheriff Hooper, who was played by, later it's played by the older Sheriff Hooper, is played by Tom Barry. Um, he wants to just question the Sawyer family. They know they're in charge of this homicide, and just want to do it by the books and justice, and bring them in for questioning. Most likely they'll be guilty, but yet he'd still want to do it the rational way. They hope not to go to the extremes of what the mob that comes in wants to do. And the leader of the mob was Bert Hartman, who again later on is played by Paul Ray, and he just has no forgiveness, or he just doesn't believe in the justice system. He just wants to an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth sort of guy, and so he has the rest of his mob burn the Sawyers in their own home. And there's one baby girl named Heather who gets adopted from the wife and husband of the mob. And 40 years later, Heather, who was played by Alexandria Daddario, she gets inheritance money from her biological grandmother, Sawyer, and she gives her inheritance to live in their family's mansion. And her boyfriend is played by Trey Songz. His character's name is Ryan. He wants to go with her to collect her inheritance and to see what this mansion looks like, and maybe it'll give questions of who her family was and where she comes from. Two other friends tag along. Boyfriend, girlfriend tag along with them. One's Nikki, who's played by Tanya Raymond, and Kenny, who's played by Karim Malachi Sanchez. And once they arrive at this utopia of a mansion, it's attractive looking. It's not like the original '74 version where it's all run down. It's actually very kept up, and so it's like a utopia. But then they realize underneath the basement lies what was known that he left, or not left, but died among his other relatives inside the fire. It was Leatherface. He was able to escape, and now it's just a matter of time for each one to see their demise, like all these horror films. It is bad. It wasn't bad the first act. It actually had some momentum with it, and I think because it is a sequel, the true sequel to the original, and it got my attention. But then, mainly with the main character of Heather, when anything dealing with her and Leatherface is about as cheap as you can get in a horror film, and it makes the horror scenes unscary, unintelligent, and the characters in this movie are unlikable. Unlike the original film, where you do care about those characters, this one you really don't. And I can't stand where somewhere in the third act they want us to have sympathy over Leatherface for some reason. And by the end, I don't know who the hell is the antagonist anymore. And I'm not rooting for Leatherface. I don't want no sympathy for him. I don't care about him because this is a murder. So that the second half is just a bogus movie. Yes, there's a story behind it, and in my follow up. I'll get more of that with the spoilers. It's it's just a terrible film. That's why I was fearing this what it's going to do. This is going to be stupid. Yes, it is stupid. It wasn't right away. And again, I can understand where the story was going, but yet it cheats with her character. And then it just makes the rest of the movie unwatchable. And then it's like, okay, can this end any sooner now? I give Texas Chainsaw 1 star because it cheats. I would give it 2. I understand where the story's going, but yet it cheats a little bit because it cheats the when you watch it again, it ruins it. I'm playing it over my head. No matter what, it's ruined. And it is like so far already one of the worst films of 2013. And it is rated R for strong, grisly violence and language throughout. The violence really isn't like over the top. I was glad about that. So there's a positive there. It does go a little bit more extreme than the original, which was to be expected. But in some of those, it's actually a little bit better. I mean, in the tension sense. But being that it cheats me with Heather's story, I just can't recommend this movie at all. I say skip this movie. And if you do, it is only 1 hour, 32 minutes long. And if you do see this, because I was the only one that stayed in the theater long enough, there is like an Easter egg at the end of the end credits. So if you do plan on seeing this, stick through all the end credits. There is like a kind of a humorous Easter egg. And this one does have its dark humor, but it doesn't matter. It's still, because the movie cheats. So it's a bad film. It's a skip altogether film. I mean, so have a good time with the movies.